Welcome, if you're joining us for the first time, to the Mazda Brisbane Premier League Under-19 Women's Competition, where the Moreton Magic backing up are batting against the Bayside Pirates. We begin with a bye, as the pace of Bonnie Berry begins from the railway end. My name's Daniel Viles, great pleasure to be with you. We've just had one cracker of a game as the Moreton Magic defeated the top of the table Coastal Marlins by 5 wickets with 5 balls remaining, thanks to a 22-ball half-century from Jess Bradley. Tara Staines was on strike before. Okay, wide ball, Berry just struggling with the radar. I apologise, it's Tara Staines on strike now in the number 9 shirt with the double plat. And number 10 at the other end is Taylor Stumer. The bowler, as I say, is 15-year-old Bonnie Berry from, well, I'll tell you where she's from in a moment. It takes a while. Beautiful. Beautiful delivery beating the outside edge. Bonnie Berry took 5 for 8 on the opening day, and afterwards I said, I didn't have any information on it, so I said, where are you from? And what club do you play for? She said, I play for Emerald Brothers. So I said, you're from Emerald? It's like, oh, well, actually the nearest town's Anarchy. So you're from Anarchy? No, I live on a station outside Anarchy. It's 4 hours to training, 4 hours back. So that was nearly caught. It was slapped to point. Wouldn't have got any more than 20 centimetres above the ground the entire way. And it flew to Jessica Bryant at point. And she ended up dropping a catch before she realised it was a catch. But no shame for Bryant there. Berry finds her line. Good cover drive, but straight to the field. It's Captain Tara Wheeler. She's had a good week. A couple of 60s on the opening day, not quite as much yesterday. It's the Pirates, who began with an excellent win, haven't had a win since. Been a difficult week for them. Difficult day anyway. Just whacked, missed time to Wheeler at cover. So the Pirates defeated the Kings in the first match, which we had on the live stream. Then a loss to the Wave Riders off the second last ball. And a big loss to the Marlins yesterday morning. And another big loss to the Rockets yesterday afternoon. So a few fumbles behind the stumps from Michaela Montgomery. As the first over ends, Montgomery, who's probably down to keep for the Bayside Pirates anyway, suddenly found herself in the main keeping position with a horrible injury to Dahlia Glennie on the first day, where a rising ball hit her in the face. It's a horrible injury. She was keeping maybe 10 metres back. The ball just reared. In the last game we saw Mel Vernick playing for the Coastal Marlins. Her sister Sophie playing for the Bayside Pirates. Right arm medium fast. Will take up the attack from the clubhouse end. My name's Daniel Viles, great pleasure to be with you here. Starts with a bit of swing, just died a bit on its way through to the keeper, but that may simply be because the keeper was a bit far back. Now that I'm set up, the stream appears to be working, which is good. Full delivery edged. Might have gone straight to first slip. Instead, it's a single down to deep third. In the power play, just the third run conceded for the innings as the Pirates make a controlled start. So Vernick not quite finding a range yet. Doesn't usually take a long. beating the outside edge Vernick. Good delivery. It will be the one. Staines with her high backlift and powerful stroke. I've seen her hit the ball quite hard. I don't think she's got a 50 yet in the Casper Raymond Shield, but she tends to make some very destructive 20s and 30s. Well pulled. I was about to say should be 4. I didn't see the fielder at backward square, just the single. So Stumer turning the strike over. Vernick just hasn't quite settled into her line yet. Again wide, but the pace beats the edge. Not a bad over from Vernick in the end. So as I say, my name's Daniel Viles. Thank you for joining me on the YouTube stream, or possibly through the Brisbane Premier League app. But I do have the live chat open in front of me. As long as I can recharge my battery later, it should be open for the rest of the day. But any comments you'd like to make, keep it respectful, but if you want to send a shout out to a player, get them mentioned on air. Give me information about the players. If I mispronounce a name, I'm a stickler for that, so I'm more than happy to be corrected. Berry again. Short ball, well pulled, not quite timed. And Stumer will get a single behind square. Hint of an overthrow as it just went between the legs of Montgomery. Danger averted. Berry, as I said, 5 for 8 in that opening match. Sadly for her, hasn't taken a wicket since. But there's plenty of talent there. Wide ball. Missed by Montgomery and ended up being fielded by Vernick down here at third. But yes, there were a few complaints from the City girls, City women, beg your pardon, about travelling all the way out to Redlands. And Bonnie Berry had to maintain a wry smile, given that she travels 4 hours to Emerald and back. Big swing. And not really. In fact, if we replay that, which I can't, but you can by just double tapping the left side of your screen if you're watching on a phone or tablet, I dare say that Staines wasn't really looking at the ball as the bat went past it. That's a good shot, should be 4. All along the carpet. It's a first grade ground here. No, not even a bobble. That just makes its way to the fence. 4 runs to Tara Staines. So the Magic on a high. They've just been batting, which means their fielding efforts get to take place a fair way apart. Good attempt at a bouncer, but I think it's going to be 5. It's definitely gone to the boundary. I'll wait for the call. So impressive that she can get the ball over the shoulder, but maybe not the best directed bouncer. So none for 15. Berry searches. Ooh, it's called wide. I thought for a moment that Staines may have moved out of the way of it. I do like Berry's pace. You can't teach that. The control will come. As I say, just 15. This is a shame from Berry. She doesn't need to lose heart. Stand at the top of the run, visualise what you're going to do, and execute it. She's capable of this. The Magic, they're taking the opportunities as they come, as they should. Beats the outside edge. Oh, Montgomery fumbles, which will allow probably a bye. Still 2 balls remaining in this over. If you're feeling down, sometimes you can think, gee, I've still got 2 balls to go. But if you can talk yourself into thinking, right, I've got 2 opportunities here, it can help your bowling. But the Magic off to a flyer. Snuck inside the wide line. And the bowling's a bit benevolent, so the Magic haven't had to take many risks yet. And let's be kind and say the footwork there from Staines wasn't really well directed. So Berry finishes their second over. Looks a little disappointed, but as I say, began the tournament with a bang and would have learnt plenty. There's plenty of talent coming from Queensland country areas and city areas, as Sophie Vernick will continue from the clubhouse end, the northern end. Now, I was approached by Lucy Hamilton of the Coastal Marlins after the last game, who asked me to say hello to her grandmother, Denise Melville. So if you're still tuned in, Denise, Lucy says hi, and so do I. Vernick, a lovely straight delivery. Shies at the start. Oh! Needed to be lower, but she fielded well in her follow-through. And that single was a bit cheeky. It didn't really go wide. And they might think twice about taking on the follow-through of Sophie Vernick again. It's edged, it's over the infield. Just held up a little. There's a bit of backspin on the delivery because it wasn't really timed or hit in the middle. But it's good enough to go for 4. So Staines attacking. Playing the Aaron Finch role or the Jason Roy role. Or these days, the Shafali Werner role. Looking forward to seeing the replays of the Australia-India matches once the BPL finishes. It's slashed, but well fielded on the edge of the circle. Good work from Lara Hamilton on that occasion. So Vernick forcing the batters to take risks and take her on hard. Straight pushed into the offside, and with the field back, they are tipping and running at the moment. It's good tactics. If you're going to keep all of the inner fielders back on the circle, those singles are there. Slower delivery. One bounce to Carlin at mid-off. It was travelling. So no run. A nice bit of subterfuge from Carlin there. Had the ball in the left hand, so shied at the stumps, relying on the batters not knowing that she's actually right-handed. Bit of extra bounce there for Vernick. As Hamilton does well again at point, just a single. So done for 28 at the end of the power play, which is easily the most productive power play for the batting side that we've seen so far on this field today. This is the Peter Burge Oval at Wellington Point in Redlands, which is its own city east of Brisbane. This is the home ground of the Redlands Cricket Club. There'll be a bowling change as Alice Hayes comes on from the railway end. The most famous player from this club out of the current side would be Marnus Labuschagne. Slower delivery down the leg side. I'm told that Alice Hayes is only 11 years old, which I think makes her the youngest player in this tournament. In fact, she's half the age of her captain, Tara Wheeler, who's 22. I'll explain in a moment how a 22-year-old is in an under-19 tournament. slower. Needed a big swing from Staines, which she provided, and that's 4. The power wasn't really there, but the placement was. And it went between the short third and the point fielder for 4. Yes, each side was allowed to select 4 trailblazer players, who more experienced women's cricketers who could be anything up to age 23. And Wheeler was selected by the Pirates as their captain as well. Hayes, it's a pull shot, only just outside the stretched arms of Gabby McRae. So an opportunity. But this is how Tara Staines bats. She hits hard, she throws the bat at the ball, and she tends to score rapidly. Stumer on strike, also the keeper for the Magic. Well-directed ball from Hayes, and just pushed into the offside by Stumer for a single. So Hayes holding her own. If an 11-year-old could produce this, I look forward to seeing her development. Only just on the pads. Pulled away, but there is a sweeper, a deep square leg. And that's a beautiful throw from Bonnie Berry. Just fumbled at the end by Michaela, but you can see that's a good 50-metre throw. Right over the, well, laterally anyway, right over the bails. Gets a bit of in-swing, Hayes. Tuck the leg, there's a chance of a second. In fact, they're taking it. McRae shies at the keeper's end, but they make it back for 2. That's excellent aggressive running. Particularly from Taylor Stumer, but also from Tara Staines. 1 ball remaining, and this is the 5th over. 22 minutes past 11, Queensland time. Didn't bounce much, that'll be 4. Stumer got it around the corner, had to reach low, but turned it to fine leg for 4 runs. So none for 42 at the end of the 5th. And the Pirates have a problem or 2 early. The field has changed. Amy Kernis and Hannah Schultz running onto the field. The teams have squads of 13 or 14, and they're not only allowed but encouraged to rotate the fielders. And as well, this is a competitive competition. There's very much an element of participation, making sure that these women get a go, develop, get opportunities. It's part of a Razzmatazz 2020 cricket tournament. It's been described as the IPL for amateur cricketers. And there are plans, now that the Brisbane Premier League has overall been a success. You always have problems in the first year trying to sort everything out. But generally speaking, it's been a positive experience for players, coaches, and dare I say the odd commentator as well. So bowling change at the clubhouse end. Now I've got number 10 is Jessica Bryant. I'm not entirely convinced that's her. No, it is. I shall not doubt myself again. Jessica Bryant. Straight delivery, not really the right one to pull. And it just bobbles back to Bryant. Wide outside off. Should be 4, and is. Hit very hard. I guess we'll call it a cut shot because it was a cross-bat shot and it went to the offside, but it was very brutal, however one describes it. So Staines to 21. She's made a very swift start. Tried to go straight, came off the inside edge. Bryant looks to settle. slash, and unfortunately Montgomery not getting down to that, so there will be byes. And it's trickled over the boundary as Shabe was not able to get there in time. So the 50 is raised for the Moreton Magic in the 6th over. Very different situation from the previous game where the Marlins had them tied down for a very long time before Bradley didn't just break the shackles, she disintegrated them in the last quarter of the innings. Staines has 25, Stumer has 12. There have unfortunately been some extras. Staines looking for a half century. As I say, I don't think she's got one yet in the Catherine Raymond Shield. She's certainly capable. Getting one here in the Brisbane Premier League would be a nice step towards that. Hopefully by the end of the season she gets that Catherine Raymond 50. That's it. The appeal, there was an edge. Commentator's curse, I apologise to Tara Staines. A bit of extra bounce from Jessica Bryant. It took the edge. Montgomery didn't have to move much and she made absolutely sure of it. One down, 50 on the board for the Magic. An excellent start by them. But Staines will be disappointed that she couldn't turn 25 into a bigger score. Well done, Jessica Bryant. Plays for the Wests Club, which is an absolute nursery of women's cricket in Brisbane. I think Wests were one of the clubs that really got their clubs sorted out for women's cricket earlier than most. And they've benefited from it. Pretty well every trophy for women's cricket in Queensland, certainly the southeast part, is named after a Wests player. Catherine Raymond, after whom the first grade competition is named, was a Wests player. Jodie Fields, who played for Australia, was Australian captain at one point. She was a Wests player. Second grade competition is named after her. Kirby Short, the captain who took the Brisbane Heat to 2 women's Big Bash League titles, was a Wests player. There's a Kirby Short Cup for under-19s. The Kath Smith Medal is awarded for the best and fairest player of the Catherine Raymond Shield. I don't know if she was a Wests player, but I'm just going to assume she was until someone pops up the live chat and says, no, Daniel, she played for Sandgate. Or something of that nature. Julia Price was a Winner Manly player, not a Wests player. There we go. Melissa Bulow was a Wests player. She's also the women's ambassador for the Western Power, so with a bit of luck in the following win, she'll pop in this afternoon. Beats the outside edge again, Bryant. She looked a little shaky early, but Sienna Ginger at the crease, who's hit 2 much better than run-a-ball 50s so far this week, just has the outside edge of her bat beaten early. Successful over for Bryant. She'll get another one. The score is 1 for 50. Change of bowler at the railway end. Tara Wheeler looks to be bringing herself on. Right arm leg spinner. And has used herself well over the past week. She hasn't sought to push the younger players aside, but particularly if she's got a younger player like Jessica Bryant bowling at the other end, she'll take it upon herself to tie things up at one end to increase the effectiveness of her teammate. So good trailblazing, if I may say so. So Wheeler will bowl the Stumer. Lots of flight. Whacked. It's between the 2 fielders. That'll be 4. A very well placed shot from Stumer. Met it on the half volley. There's a wide mid-on and a mid-wicket. And she split the difference perfectly. Protractor-like batting. So they're in a position where they don't need to take too many risks, the Magic. But you cannot underestimate any opposition It has Tara Wheeler at the top of its batting lineup. Lofted into the offside. It's gone to the right of the cover fielder. It was Vernick, and it will be a single out to the deep cover. Maximum of 5 fielders allowed outside the fielding restriction circle. There's a deep cover in place for Sienna Ginger. There's also a deep mid-wicket. A long off, a long on. I think they've kept 5 up. Yes, I can count 5. Cut from Ginger, had to reach a bit. The deep cover fielder has to run to her right, but does well, just be a single. Pushed to the offside by Staines. She's starting to accelerate. There's a misfield, and it may be too much to do. No, she's done well. Very good work on the boundary from Hannah Schultz. Went for a bit of a knee slide as well, just to make it, if you're going to save runs, may as well make it fun. And so good fielding by Schultz on the boundary after the missed field at point. Edged. It was in the air for a little while, but bounced a few times before reaching Hayes at short third. Stumer, an experienced first grader, but only 16 herself. Ginger, sort of a cut shot through cover, again found herself reaching for it as the ball spun away from her. So a good first over from Wheeler. Conceded a few. I'm expecting that Bryant will remain on, as indeed she is at the clubhouse end. 1 for 59 after 7. Maybe I'll just see number 4 Holly Barrow on camera in front of us. Playing at full strength, an opening bowler for the Pirates, but held back today, and there are different reasons for that. Jessica Bryant looks for a second breakthrough. Bowling the Stumer. Long off, long on, deep cover, deep mid-wicket. Nicely turned off the pads, just a backward square for a single. There's also a deep third, so 5 outside the circle, plenty of protection. And no one short. There's a point, a cover. Actually, there is a short mid-wicket with Abby Kernis just a little closer. Beautiful bowling. Very well directed from Jessica Bryant. Apologies, I've just heard a couple of signs suggesting that the battery in the camera may be going flat. We were worried about this. So what will happen? Unfortunately, the audio will go first. So if it goes silent, push down the ground for a single. If the commentary goes silent, it'll go first. That'll be the first danger sign that we need a battery, otherwise we'll lose vision as well. We don't want to lose vision. We can lose me without many problems. You do want to see these women play. Right, it's hit in front, but down leg. Definitely worth a shout because Stumer did move away to the offside. Stumer moved to 21. Started to play more aggressively the ball that Staines left. Wide ball, just pulled the arm down a little bit. Yes, as soon as Staines was dismissed, Stumer noticeably upped the ante. It's good team batting. Sienna Ginger playing herself in. Nice little cut shot. No run though. And Bryant's been impressive in her first 2 overs. Apologies for the eruption. Apologies for the interruption, that's better. Amarine Carlin, leg spin from the railway end. Another one who plays for Wynnum Manly, but with the Wynnum Manly Redlands joint team in the Catherine Raymond Shield. Will play some home games here. So Wheeler just giving herself the 1 over. A nice line outside off to begin. Ginger very watchful. Ginger, another talented 16-year-old, looks to be going places. Reached for that one. It's gone out to deep cover. There'll just be the single. I do wonder whether the Magic could push that one a little bit harder. I will say it's started to heat up a bit here at Wellington Point. She's putting some revs on it. Very deft touch from Stumer for a single to short third. Lara Hamilton doing the work on that occasion. Carlin spinning the ball hard. That would be encouraging. Montgomery, well, firstly because she's got pride as a keeper, but just generally would like to start gloving those because the opportunity may come. Carlin will create those. She's getting drift. Ginger just plays that one to leg. But from this angle with Carlin bowling at the far end, you can just see the ball come more towards the camera. Makes its way down the pitch. It's good to see a 16-year-old really giving it a flick. Lofted down the ground, it's straight, just to the right of the fielder. And Holly Barr has done well straight. Just the 1 run to Stumer. And to her credit, didn't try to hit it too hard, so it was savable, but less catchable than perhaps it looked. End of the over, 1 for 66 off 9. Carlin started well. As the very white commentator should probably put some sunscreen on. Bryant, it's straight but looked high. And what's disappointing about that is that we've had some ridiculous appeals from square of the wicket, and then when one's finally straight, the people square of the wicket don't appeal. Get it together, girls. Nice cut shot. Should just be 1 to the boundary sweeper. So the game's just in a bit of a lull at the moment. The Pirates trying to keep it tight. The Magic just ticking over. No real aggression. Another cut shot. This one's gone more into the gap. There's a big chase there for Hannah Schultz. She does well. A little bit of a fumble, but she has kept it in. So Ginger on strike. 1 for 69, approaching the halfway mark of the innings. Bryant bowling generally well. Much straighter, lofted. Bounced in between Carlin and Barr, club teammates. Carlin eventually threw it in. If they hadn't communicated well, one of them would have let the other know at training most forthrightly. Beautiful. She's got a wicket, but that was possibly Bryant's best delivery. Wicket to wicket and then just swung away. If she can replicate that, that's a career. Oh, that was edge. She drew the outside edge, just went past Montgomery. Fielded on the boundary. Just the single, but Bryant's been impressive. So 1 for 71 at the halfway mark. They were none for 28 at the end of the power play. So 1 for 43 off the last 6 overs. 7 and over when the field is back is pretty good going. Starts the over from Carlin. And an aggressive start from Stumer. It's a good cut shot. It's gone out to the point boundary. And Berry does her best to cut off the second. Ball just bounced a bit before, but it's a good long throw out there, and Berry did well. Lofted by Stumer, but it's gone wide and will go out to the boundary rider. Just a single. The game is in a bit of a holding pattern at the moment. Carlin's keeping it tight, but not really threatening a wicket. Ginger on strike. Does she make a move now? Does she just keep knocking it around? Plays back. Not much to be done with that particular delivery. So Carlin saying, go on, take a risk, if you dare. Which she does. It's down towards long off. And just dropped by Holly Barr. She was in good position. Spilled through for a boundary of some description. Umpire just checking with Barr whether it went over the boundary from the hands. And it is 4. It's good communication. Holly Barr will be disappointed. Ginger left the stumps a little exposed there, but that was assured. So 1 for 78. And Carlin did encourage the batters to take a risk. And probably should have got a reward for it. But she should not be discouraged by that. Carlin clearly has a future in this game. So Jessica Bryant to bowl out from the clubhouse end. It's low, down leg side. And this time she gets a bit more support from the teammates. In fact, there was some bat on that one. So Stumer moves to 28. She set herself up for a 50 and also set herself up for a bit of aggression. And Bryant's done that a few times today. Excellent length and line from Bryant. That's a bit shorter and wider. Hit strongly, but there is a boundary rider. And they've charged for 2. Good running from Sienna Ginger. Realised how long a throw it was because she had to try it earlier today in the previous match. And took the 2 on offer. Needs to be watchful though, because when Bryant gets the line and length right, the outside edge is very much in play. Just pushed into the offside, but quite strongly. There was a fair bit of strength behind it. Just a single brings Stumer back on strike. Ginger moves to 14. 1 for 82. She's done it again. They'll take a bye. Unfortunately, Montgomery's fumbled. Gets the glove off and throws to Bryant at the bowler's end, but no real danger. And just the bye is conceded. 11:45. Still a little bit of breeze about, but it's quite bright. There are a few degrees in the air, to say the least. A lovely push, again well timed into the offside. Took a little minute to decide to go for 2, but it was the right decision, and in the end they made it quite comfortably. So 1 for 85 at the end of 12 overs. Now in the old days, it was said in 50 over cricket that at the end of 30 overs you'd take the score and double it, and that was a good total. So in 20 over cricket, the equivalent of 30 overs is 12. Currently 1 for 85, so if they were to double that, they'd be up around 170. Now the good news for the Magic is they've got 9 wickets still to play with. They've got Bradley to come. A few other batters, even Laura Shiver, who's not always the strongest hitter, she showed in the previous innings in that wonderful partnership, played a great supporting role. Carlin just gets that one a little full, well fielded at square leg by Abby Kernis. So Carlin just over pitching. And Stumer helping herself to 1. She moves to 29. Good use of the feet from Ginger. But Carlin will love to see that. As a leg spinner, you want the batter coming towards you. Hit a bit harder, didn't time it, and there'll be no run because it went far too quickly to McRae at mid-wicket. Good control from Carlin, pushed to the left of Wheeler at cover, and so an easy enough single for Ginger. He moves to 17. 1 for 87, unlucky for some. Don't believe it myself. And just gently guided into the ground. Easy single. It's all a bit same. He told you there was nothing scary about the number 87. Had a routine single. That superstition can die. Ginger reached for it, again just a single out to the boundary rider. So the ball hits the stumps and then ricochets. Well backed up in the end from Abby Kernis. She saved a few runs in different ways already in the last couple of overs. It's fielded impressively throughout the week. An off spinner as well, another spinning option available to Tara Wheeler. Throughout the week. Wheeler directing traffic. She brings Vanek back into the attack. And thank you to Sally Vanek for teaching me this morning how to pronounce the surname. The Y is silent. It looks like Vernick or Vernyik, but no, just Vernick will do. Field set well back. Oh, sorry. As the leg by is run, I will correct myself. That is Hannah Schultz at this end. Sincere apologies. So Hannah Schultz, medium pace bowler, another one from the Wynnum Manly Redlands side, of which there are at least 5 in this squad. Steamer tucked for room. There's no run. Good line from Schultz. So deep mid off, deep mid on, deep mid wicket, deep cover. And a deep third. Pulled the shoulder, beat the outside edge though, got a bit of extra bounce. I thought for a moment she might have risked an offside wide, but the bounce she got was impressive. Steamer well set, but still not really with her rhythm, up to 30. And that one is a bit too wide. It's gone through Montgomery's legs. So there will be a second wide added to the score. So the Magic are in the 90s. So the encouragement to bowl full and straight comes from Coach Jack Doyle. It was back of a length and straight, and it will just be a single out to Berry on the boundary. It's a great arm. It would have reached the keeper on the full had Montgomery been at the stumps. That's not a criticism, that's just a description. So Schultz taking the pace off the ball and really making Stumer and Ginger go after it. Only a little bit down leg side. I think it's come off the pad. Indication that there might be a leg by. Yes, it is. So not straying too far, Hannah Schultz. That's Ginger on strike. She has let loose a couple of times this week, Sienna Ginger, but not so far today. And a dot as it's pushed to the skipper at cover. And a fairly tidy over from Hannah Schultz. So 1 for 94 off 14. 23 runs in the last 4 overs, so just shy of a run a ball. There is a lack of intensity at the moment. It's the kind of day when commentators start telling stories that no one cares about, bringing up statistics they found on 2 pages of their record book that were previously stuck together. I'll try to resist all those temptations for you today, but Carlin will bowl out from the railway end. Slapped into the gap from Stumer. A big dive at cover, which hasn't kept it in. That's 4 runs. It's a combination of timing and the outfield. Didn't overhit that one, Stumer. Very controlled shot. And took a risk against Carlin and it paid off. Easy single to cover. And Carlin's bowling at the moment. It's very skillful, but it is a bit one-dimensional. I mean, that is a very good stock delivery to have, but it really is just like the 15 balls before it. I'm not suggesting she bowl a variation every second ball, but once and over is fine. Keep the batters guessing. Lofted to cover, but it's 2 wheelers right. There's a long chase on the boundary. She won't get there. That's the second boundary this over. The 100 comes up for the Moreton Magic. And Stumer, in fact, apologies, that was Ginger. That's to 27, barely raising a sweat. One person who won't be minding this all that much is Tara Wheeler, because the total is not getting beyond what she might feel comfortable chasing. A little bit shorter, mistimed by Ginger. Carlin couldn't quite get down to it. And just a single, one for 104. So a boundary to each of Stumer and Ginger in this over. There's Carlin with one delivery to go. As Stumer pulls out the reverse sweep, doesn't beat the fielder at short third. As the crowd wakes up, the commentator wakes up, and Stumer, I hope, feels rather pleased with herself. So one for 105, with 5 overs remaining. The last 5 overs, none for 34. It's all been fairly low pressure cricket. It has been a long week. 2 matches a day, albeit 2020 matches. As Schultz, after an impressive start, will continue from the clubhouse end. The breeze has picked up. There appears to be a southerly in play. The 2 flags, the Redlands club flag and the Queensland flag, are fluttering back towards the clubhouse, which is located at the northern edge of this ground. Down the leg side, beautifully whipped off the toes. In fact, Proddymore got it on the half volley, Stumer, and whipped it over backward square for 4. Not really where Schultz was expecting to be hit, so it was good vision apart from anything else. Good timing and all the rest of it for Stumer to find the gap and exploit it. Not too wide outside off stump, and Stumer didn't read the bounce. Pull shot from middle stump, a little risky, but gets the single. And really, when you're up to the 16th over of a 2020 match, you've got 9 wickets in hand, you'll probably play a few games, as you may see an ibis just wander across screen. In fact, there are 2. Good ball from Schultz. It's hit down the ground, looking to split the ibises. And in the end, fielded well by Holly Barr with McRae in backup. So straight, there are 2 fielders and 2 ibises. In fact, each fielder has their own ibis behind them. Gabby McRae has her own ibis. Holly Barr has her own ibis. Horrible cross-patch shot, but it will yield a single as the Magic look to accelerate in the final part of this innings. 1 for 112. Another superstition gone, this whole idea of 111. I know David Shepherd, the umpire, made a career out of hopping around on triple figure scores, but as much as I love him, he was wrong. Straight delivery, but the field is back, and so they'll run a very easy leg by. Ginger gets through. As the ibises are now sitting on the boundary fence. At the end of the 16th over, 1 for 113, so 8 from it. Bowling change at the railway end. It's going to be Eloise Shabe. Not noted as a bowler, hasn't done a lot of bowling for the Pirates this week. With the Pirates playing, I believe, their second last game. Yes, they face the Dingoes in what is a bottom of the table clash in their last game. They'll be on Kratzmann Oval, the field. It's actually a fair way behind us here. It's the second oval, which 3rd and 4th grade use, here at the Redlands Cricket Club. Before Easts moved out here to become Redlands, there was the Wellington Point Cricket Club, who now locate elsewhere, but did play here for many years, and Fred Kratzmann was the stalwart of that club. And it is a feature of Brisbane Ovals. They're usually named after someone, not just in cricket either, who's given a lot of service to the club, and so it's a nice little way of honouring. It does mean that a lot of players play on fields named after people they've never met or heard of. Good pace from Sharp. She may have a wicket straight away. It's just beaten on the half volley. Gone towards the boundary. Doesn't look to have crossed it. Now we'll just interrupt the commentary to look after some technical matters. That's a very wide delivery. Stretch that, and Michaela Montgomery produces some keeping that would make someone like Tom Healy proud. Now, there are some players who took part in the senior men's. I'll just say thank you, Tom. Who took part in the senior men's tournament, who have been working like Trojans out here at the Brisbane Premier League. That'll be 4. Slapped between cover and wide mid-off. A very attacking shot from Sienna Ginger yields the reward, 1 for 122. Hey, just some tech talk. Yeah, it started beeping at me before, so that's why I called for help.
This one, or
the one you took out? So,
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a lovely lofted off drive from Sienna Ginger. It's definitely 4. I don't think it has made it for 6. I beg your pardon. And Ginger accelerates to 39, and she's looking to make hay in the final 3.5 overs of this innings. 1 for 128. We had 1.5 games out of 3 games, so did it not look flat to you? Is that the
It's got 2 bars.
Oh my goodness. I don't know what the beats were then. Okay, if it's a false alarm, I apologise.
No, it's alright. But they're saying that you can't charge the camera or the encoder. So we'll just see.
Sure. Back past the bowler, past Schultz. And 1 down the long off. Apologies for more shop talk. I'm happy, given that there's 2 bars on it, if you want to use your judgment and put them...
No, it's got 3, so that's just the...
Sure.
So we'll just give this a go instead.
Sure.
We'll have enough off our sleep to get ready.
Okay. Thanks for your help. If I jumped the gun early, I apologise for that. Swing and a miss from outside off stump from Taylor Stumer. He's batted through this innings. It's an impressive effort. It's only a T20 innings, but it does take a bit of skill to bat aggressively and bat through it. Schultz again. Just sneaks past. But again, they've allowed the ones where the batters move to the offside in this series, so good call. 1 for 129 with 3 overs remaining. Five minutes past 12. And so an update to a Noel Coward song. It's only mad dogs and Englishmen and silly commentators who sit in the midday sun.
Not far away.
The Sophie Vernick will continue. Haven't seen a power surge signal yet. The fielders are changing over as the Pirates make sure that their squad gets used. Tara Wheeler, she's been quite deliberate with her fields this week, and rightly so. In fact, the field has been brought up, so I'm prepared to concede I may have missed the power surge signal. As we have a deep cover and a deep mid-off for Vernick. Bowling to Ginger. She may have got an outside edge there. It's headed down more or less to the backstop boundary. Charges back for 2. Good work from Montgomery at the second effort. And there was an edge. It's called runs. So Vernick just a little wide. She has strayed outside off more than outside leg this spell, which is the better error to make. Now this could be caught. Wheeler's going back, just dropped it. She was travelling at pace at cover. The ball was travelling over her shoulder, which are always the most difficult catches. So technically a drop. But I don't think Wheeler should be too harsh on herself. That's beautiful bowling from Vernick. Beautiful outswing. Drew Stumer into the shot. And I think she was sucking clouds a bit by the time that ball reached her. Lovely shape again. It's straight, hit straight. Just landed out of the reach of Gabby McRae. Keeps it to 2 with a strong throw. She made a lot of ground. You possibly saw it on your screen. Flew to her right and just landed maybe 2 metres ahead of her. But Vernick creating chances. Lofted into the offside. If that clears the boundary, that is her 50. A wonderful way for Taylor Stumer to bring up her half century. She's batted through the innings. Made a couple of errors that went unpunished. But by and large, it's been well controlled. The magic move to 140. And Stumer, after being challenged by Sienna Ginger, reaches her 51st. Down the ground, it's going to fall short of McRae, who does well and keep it to 1. So Vernick didn't do a lot wrong, but Stumer took risks and they came off. So with 2 overs to go, 1 for 141. So the 170, 30 runs off 2 overs, not out of the question, as the power surge is enforced rather than taken. Jessica Bradley, the hero of the last match on this field, so far not required. Teams are given 80 minutes to bowl their overs. Or 80 minutes to start the last over. The Pirates will do that easily. Wheeler's taken her time and kept things moving. It's a delicate combination. Stumer pulls out the reverse sweep. Carlin with the ball elected not to shy. That's the second time that Stumer's pulled out the reverse. I don't know that she's playing the reverse because the camera's here, but if you know Taylor Stumer, just tell her you saw her play the reverse sweep on camera, will you? Ginger, whacked over the leg side. It's been fielded, misfielded on the boundary. Waiting for the call, it's not been called. So no boundary. Just 2 runs to Ginger. She's on 45. Batted well enough for a 50. But you don't get a 50 because you deserve one, you get one because you've scored 50 runs. Ginger batted steadily today. Outside off, she's beaten the point fielder but won't beat deep point, just the single. So Shade working hard in this spell. And good shot, beaten point again. They've taken one and they do come back for two. There was just, came off maybe the knee of Carlin at point, which meant that Vernick at deep point had a bit extra to run. I should say, I'm calling them point and deep point. They're not directly in a line. I don't mean to imply that Wheeler has put two fielders in variations of the same position. I'd do that as a captain, but not Tara. And that's over cover, should be four. She put a fair bit onto that Stumer. And she moves to 58. As the 150 comes up for the Moreton Magic. 7 balls remaining in this innings. As a magpie roosts on the grandstand. She has done that a few times. It's probably the one blemish in Stumer's innings is that to an outswinging delivery, she's not only played and missed outside off stump, but she has lifted the head and really not watched the ball onto the bat. But with 1 over remaining, it means that Ginger's on strike. 1 for 151. The 170 would be a very good effort. 160 probably more likely, and of course 160 would be 8 runs and over. So the power surge is in play, so the 2 deep fielders are here at long off and out at deep cover. Ginger 4 runs short of a half century, which would be her 3rd for the week. And I apologise, the power surge has in fact ended, so that was the 2 overs just gone. So there are 5 back. Deep cover, deep mid off, deep mid on, deep square leg. And the long on will come into play. That's Amarine Carlin. And they'll take the single, playing for the team. $152. Short ball, it's slightly top edge, but it's into plenty of space. Goes out to the deep mid wicket fielder, and Bonnie Berry just returns it surely to the bowler. Deep third is the 5th fielder outside the circle, just looking for any top edges or balls that get past the keeper. It's a fairly fine deep third as well. No ball is called, presumably for the front foot. It was played, well, it was mistimed really. Out to deep cover. Sorry, it's a bit of split focus there. And so a free hit. And Ginger with the 2 is 49. And has a big opportunity. She can hit it straight to someone and still get a 50. And Vernick has done well. Defending the free hit again. And again, I'm not entirely sure that Ginger's technique remained perfect. 1 for 155. It's a good total. 2 balls remaining. Lofted to long on. Just landed in front of Carlin. Possibly could have attacked it. Ginger's got a 50. That's her 3rd 50 of the week. And if I say it's easily her slowest, that's more of a reflection on what she's done earlier. 67 off 40 against the Dingoes. 70 not out of 52 against the Kings. This one required more circumspection and she provided it. very controlled from the Magic in this innings. 1 ball remaining. And that may finish wide. They've got at least one. Not enough on it to reach the boundary. Alice Hayes chases hard. And they elect not to push for the almost obligatory run out on the final ball. And the scoreboard's already ticked over to the second innings and there's a ball remaining. So I believe the total's 157. 156 in fact. Stewart to face. Swing and a miss. Gone for the obligatory bye. So Ginger has run out, but did the right thing by going for the run on the last ball. So 2 for I think 156. I will get that corrected. The official score will come up on your screens very shortly. Stewart finishes on 59. Ginger out for 50, but very much did her job. A sensational partnership between Stewart and Ginger, which yielded 106. A century partnership in a 2020 match where you haven't really lost speed. It's a tremendous effort. Score sheets will be up on your screen shortly. We'll take a break for about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll be back for the run chase of the Bayside Pirates up against the Moreton Magic. This is the Brisbane Premier League Under-19 Women's Division, brought to you by Mazda, live from the Peter Burge Oval in Wellington Point.
Head on out, girl.
Yes, we got to be more.
No.
That's it, this way.
Keep going that way.
And then I'll get someone else on the left.
Just come across this way.
Yeah, that's it. Further.
On the full? 12:30, mate.
Yeah, no worries.
12:30 we start.
Yeah.
Right one.
Take 12.
Always wanted to be a starting pitcher.
Oh my god.
Oh, that was mine too.
Never had the arm for it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a bit close here, not gonna lie.
Nice, Holly.
Oh wow, that's wide.
Oh, that was so touchy.
That one was off the plate. Sorry, that's meant to be a little bit lower.
Maybe you should just say Sophie.
Oh, sorry. Was it too straight?
Oh, that was
throw in.
inside.
That's an error.
Money, do jump in.
One there. Maybe one more somewhere too. Oh yeah, under the fence. That was the first ball, wasn't it? Oh, there we go. Oh, that's wide. Well left. Oh. What kind of bowl it now? Yep. Oh, oh, on your way back, chuck that other one over to us too, please.
We should have about 8 balls at the end too.
8 minutes in theory.
12:30.
12:30 start, so sorry, you might watch that's 8 minutes. We'll see when the umpire strolls out. Oh, sorry, I meant to stay on the full.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, also Hannah's.
Yeah, kind of. I'll have one.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll have another.
Go, Hannah's.
No.
Good.
Give us fever.
Yeah, nice.
What did you hit to Sophie? Yes,
Oh, shoot, got that.
yes, me. It's okay, Hannah, you'll probably get there anyway. Alice is started to begin. Yes, and me.
Hell, Johnson.
Oh, wow, that was bad, sorry.
He done a lot from you over there.
Well, he said, I'd like to be a starting pitcher, but I have no arm, mate.
Mine's not much better actually. That's
Come
far
on.
knows over the past couple of
At
days.
least I've got old age as an excuse.
Yeah, I'm old.
Oh,
21. Getting on. Yeah,
oh.
getting on.
I'm saying I would have stopped that if I had no balls in the club. Yeah, he's only a kid. Shot. 21. I was watching the shot. Jack, I was watching the highlights of the 2000 Sydney Olympics. Were you even born?
Just. I was born in 99.
That's good.
That's such
I'm saying I remember where I was for all these. And... Yeah, Tara, is that enough? Yeah.
I'm tired now.
You want some more, Jack?
Oh, look.
I know, mate.
Area. 2,
Yep.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got all that ball. Oh, my throws are on fire again. Here we go. The dog's back. No, I'm not back. I'm not back. Sorry, right. Right. Last one. Happy? I'm fine.
Eloise, that was a beautiful shot. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Daniel,
Yes.
sorry. Are you good for battery? I've got this if you need it.
Oh, sure. Oh, you're talking about the camera here?
Yeah.
Or? Sure. There's actually official batteries that were here, so I was just getting them to sort that out. This conversation is all being heard, by the way. I have a feeling as well I may have jumped the gun with that one. I heard a couple of beeps.
Yep.
And I've made a mistake somewhere. I don't know whether I heard the wrong thing or whether I imagined or expected them, or but no, I feel I may have jumped the gun and had them scurry here a bit before the start. So that's a bit embarrassing. But
That's all right. Better be prepared than not.
well, I mean, on Monday we lost so yeah, just want to make sure that
That's when you said, I wonder what type of battery.
it was lovely. So no, this is.
The big ones for the front box.
But also I won't maybe I'll have the live chat for this innings because my phone's running on battery. I had an external battery, but it wasn't doing anything, so I'm not quite sure what's going on. Oh, it's back there. No, I'm currently recharging my external battery. I'll see if I can get them to talk to each other.
Fair enough.
That's fine. But no, thank you.
That's all right.
So welcome back to Peter Burge Oval. My name's Daniel Viles. This is the Under-19 Women's Division of the Brisbane Premier League. It's the final day of round robin action. It's the last match for the Moreton Magic in the field. The second last match for the Bayside Pirates with the bat. The Pirates will finish their campaign immediately after this when they head about 50 metres behind me and play on the Fred Kratzmann Oval against the Darling Dingoes. But before that, Tara Staines made an excellent start to the Moreton Magic's innings, scoring 25. She will open the bowling with her off-spinners, as she did in the win over the Coastal Marlins immediately before this. As Tara Wheeler faces. 2 for 159 was the final total for the Magic. And Tara Wheeler, she has 2 half centuries this week. It's well hit, but also well fielded at short cover. Some good work in close from, I think, Eliza Barnett. Tight bowling. Wheeler's able to get it through the gap, just behind point. It's a single which brings Bonnie Berry onto strike. Now, I don't think she's batted this week, which might be part of the reason why she's opening the innings now. But she's clearly athletic. And my cricket profile suggests that her highest score isn't all that high. But she has an opportunity. Straight down to the ground. She's got 4. Good use of the feet. Straight over the bowler's head. And fails to reach the men's boundary by about 5 centimetres. It's thrown back by Kira Smith, who was impressive with the ball in the win over the Marlins. So Berry off and running. Staines. Gone again. That's another one. And it only landed just inside the boundary. It was probably 2 or 3 metres away from being 6. Kira Smith's getting sick of this already. Sorry, I'll just enter the game here. The boundary is actually 20 metres in front of you, Kira. Sorry. Now get back to commentating, Daniel. Chipped into the leg side. Bradley moves around. It gets beneath her. A third consecutive fall for Bonnie Berry. Where have you been all week, Bonnie? So 13 runs off the first over. Staines, who wasn't really attacked in the first match for different reasons, very different match situation, but finds herself receiving a bit of treatment in the first over. Now, unfortunately, I'll only be able to do, check into the live chat from time to time this innings, but you're welcome to talk amongst yourselves. If there's a technical problem, there's plenty of people watching here at the ground, and you can always put something in the comments. And see if someone at the ground can run a message over to me. Hopefully there are no technical problems. It's been pretty steady today. The last thing we want to do is lose the camera, which is all sorted now, because Bonnie Berry just peeled off 12 runs off 3 deliveries. So Kira Smith has made her way to the other end of the field to open the bowling from the railway end. As I say, she had plenty of pace and bounce in the earlier game. Front on action, maybe a hint of in-swing. Popped in the air, caught. And as we saw in the previous match, Smith is able to hit the pitch. If she gets the seam, she'll get a bit of extra bounce. That troubled Wheeler on that occasion. Wheeler turned it to mid-wicket, and the close-in fielder was able to complete the catch. 1 down already. After 8 balls of the inning, Smith breaks through, and Wheeler will be disappointed. The incoming bat is Eloise Shabe, who's threatened this week. Looks like she has runs in her. A very good start for Smith. When she hits the seam, she can get that extra bounce and get it to pop. Jess Bradley, positioning herself in close. She's a good catcher, often keeps wicket, allowing Stewart the opportunity to do that this week. So Smith to Shabe. Shabe gets a freebie. Smith looks to be, at the very least, trying to bowl faster in this match than she was in the previous one. The Magic, they're defending a fair old total in 159. If they can complete the win here, they'd be unlucky to miss the final 4. Overcorrect, so Shabe gets to look at the pace and bounce of Smith without being troubled. It's a very different pitch to those she would have been playing on for the past 2 days in the north of Brisbane at Marchant Park. It was never out, it was down leg side, but I always enjoy a cheeky umpire who gets the counter out and starts moving the right arm. It's not quite as cheeky as when they scratch their nose. And as a bowler, you look at the umpire and go, for goodness sake, get a new joke. Popped in the air again. Smith is attempting to cramp Shabe for room. He's bowling into the pads. Won't get an LBW with that line, but she can keep the runs down very effectively. As long as it doesn't go down leg side and she can put it into the pads, she'll do all right. And again, the umpire never looks like being remotely interested in that one. But it is a nice economical line from Smith. And Shea possibly needs to be more decisive with her footwork. That will be a wide. It's also gone through Stumer. Bit of a chase for Sophie Martin. So Smith has to bowl an extra delivery to Berry. His strike rate is currently rather healthy. His long off goes back. The other fielder outside the circle is at deep third. And overall, that's a pretty good over from Smith. When she got her line right, she was very difficult to get away. And Berry did well enough in the end. 1 for 17 after 2. The Magic had none for 28 in their power play to open the innings. So the question is, do they bring Staines back on? Try to cause further temptation with spin, and that's what they've decided to do. Maybe an opportunity there to test at least Berry with something faster and see if she's less comfortable. So deep mid-wicket. Possibly deep fine leg. The 2 outside the circle. Third over. Good line from Staines. It's pushed down to third. And well fielded. Good throw. So kept it to just the 1. Shabe is off the mark. As the field changes. Through mid-wicket, that should be 4. And yes, Berry seems very comfortable facing the off-spin of Staines at the moment. So Bradley has a little thinking to do about where she puts the fielders outside the circle. She's got the long off and the deep mid-wicket at the moment. Staines. Should just be a single, as well Smith was running in sharply, but Bradley was there well before her. So she kept it quick, Staines. I thought that may have been an opportunity to just put it above the eye line slightly. Although Staines generally tends to be a more quicker, flat off-spinner. More of a white ball off-spinner than a red ball, if that comparison makes a bit of sense. Shame, instead of playing that to leg, backed away and tried to play it on the offside. We'll see if Staines looks to go into the body with Shabe. Spun it well. Easy enough single to Shabe. There's a well-guided push into the gully area. So different deep fields when Berry's on strike. A test of Berry's control. Bowl. And whereas with her 4 boundaries, she'd had her head over the ball and swung through it, with that one she did get excited and lift the head, Bonnie Berry. But it's been entertaining while she was here. And in what I believe is her first knock in the Brisbane Premier League, she scored a very breezy and entertaining 17 runs. But she departs. It's 2 for 24. And Staines held her nerve, kept bowling the way she wanted to. Despite requests for variation from the commentator, she knew exactly what she was about. And Holly Barr, who we didn't see at the bowling crease today, but another local, plays for the Wynnum Manly Redlands side, will join Eloise Shabe at the crease. And warm encouragement for Bonnie Berry from her teammates. It does take quite a while to get off this field. This field's been hosting women's cricket for a long time. Just to give away my age, I was here for a women's National Cricket League match between Queensland and Western Australia in 1997, when this field was still relatively new. Smith down the leg side, but again clearly looking to bowl into the body of Eloise Shabe. The grandstand here, it's a good place to watch any form of cricket. Zoe Goss playing for Western Australia in those days, who was a very big draw card after starring in a charity match where she was the only female player, played at the SCG, dismissed Brian Lara. She's got her line right. So Shabe has options here. She can do her best to whip Smith away into the leg side. A leg glance would be a good option because it's unprotected. Or really back away and play through the off. Full toss, that's a lovely shot. The outfield may take this, it's definitely one. Slowing up, well fielded and fine. And they have taken 3, that's good running mainly from Holly Barr, as in it was her call because it was behind the wicket. Some good work in the deep. On that occasion, Brianna Ragu doing the bulk of the work and being helped out in the deep by Elise O'Kane. So Barr on strike, hasn't faced a ball yet. Kira Smith to test her out. Push through gully, there's a deep third, and so Sophie Martin will cut it off for just a single. Bring Shabe back on strike. So Smith generally keeping them quiet. That was full. Shabe attempted to play straight off the inside edge to backward square leg. Just a single. It's mopped up by Brianna Ragu. Occasionally strays, but generally speaking, been quite controlled. It's another one that popped. That's the ball that accounted for Tara Wheeler. Barr was most circumspect. The Pirates up to 30. They're actually ahead of where the Magic were in the power play. Smith losing control on that occasion. Looks a little disappointed with herself, but she's shown she can remedy that fairly easily. No need to be too discouraged. Slow ball whacked over mid-wicket. That should be 4 to Barr. Fielder has been called for. There was some confusion out on the boundary as a gust of wind just popped up at the same time. So at the end of the power play, they've actually done quite well. Pirates, 2 for 35. The Magic had none for 28 in their power play, so you can spot the obvious difference. And of course, it's whether they can match what the Magic did through other stages of their innings. For example, the final 5 overs for the Magic yielded 54 runs, and the only wicket they lost was when they were just going for the obligatory run off the last ball and Ginger was run out. So essentially none for 54. Pirates chasing it. Knocked into the leg side by Shade. Got the foot forward, not quite off the middle, but if it's into space, take the run on offer. Shade playing herself in well. She's on 7. Bar on 5. Most of which was scored off the last ball of the previous over. Power play's over. Plenty of protection in the usual spots for a right arm off spinner. Deep long on, deep mid wicket. Clever bowling from Staines. Put it outside off. Put a bit more pace on it. Bar just trying to dabble at it. Didn't work. That's a hoik out to mid-wicket. And it will be fielded by O'Kane. A nice strong arm. One of the younger players in the squad, at least O'Kane. Very good experience for her. Assuming this tournament continues, she could be in this squad for a good 6 years or so. Off the back foot, that's nicely guided by Shabe, just down to third. Takes a single. Use the pace that Staines provides. She's a very quickish off spinner. Pulled through mid-wicket. A regular mid-wicket possibly would have snaffled it, but out to wide long on with Sienna Ginger. Just throws it gently back to Staines. Nothing too urgent. Again, Shabe, just making sure she has a good backlift, gets plenty of bat on it, and even if it doesn't quite hit the middle, taking the singles. So 2 for 40 off 5. So they're actually on track. 160 required to win. A quarter of the way through the innings, they're 40. Long way to go, but the Magic don't have it in the bag. I missed who it was for, but there's a happy birthday being sung just behind the sight screen here. Lovely ball. I believe this is Baker. It's just pushed out to third and there's a single. Wearing the number 2 shirt, which was Dahlia Glennie's earlier in the week. But Baker, whose first name I believe is Chelsea, but I'm happy to be corrected on that, has taken over the number 2 shirt and the bowling attack from the railway end. That's well guided by Barr. Again, it will be fielded. Sophie Martin has a bit of work to do down on the third boundary, but does it with aplomb. Not entirely sure what aplomb is, but she did it with one. The Pirates don't appear to be under much pressure at the moment. No run on that occasion. Shabe working hard. She wants a beginning. She was practicing with intent in front of the sight screen before the innings began. Very determined batter. That's beaten the keeper. Well fielded near the boundary by Martin again. It's called by. There's a blemish from Stumer on that occasion. Well, given how much batting she did earlier. Maybe forgive her for being a little tired. 14 and a half overs remaining for the Magic before the finals. Barr was not in control of that. The ball went to her right, the foot went to the left. Baker did quite well. Some good outswing there for Baker. Pushed into the offside. Barr takes a single. Some smart running as she jammed down on it rather hard. So a good first over from Baker. Just a 3 from it. The Magic will look for any opportunity just to put the Pirates behind the run rate a little bit further. Just push the innings back little bit by little bit. We saw in the tie yesterday, a win doesn't have to be achieved all at once. So Staines to bowl out as she did in the previous game. That was tossed up, as was the shot. 6 runs over long on. She's quite tall, Holly Barr. Long arms, pulled out the long levers. To borrow a phrase from Mel Jones. And that's sailed over long on for 6. And brings the 50 up for the Bayside Pirates. Quicker delivery beats the outside edge of Barr. She has gone for that little dab to cover, or no, sorry, through gully or point. Hasn't really worked for her so far as a shot for Barr. A rare poor delivery from Staines. As it races out to mid-wicket, but well fielded by O'Kane. Just a single, which brings Shabe on strike. And so far, Shabe has shown an unwillingness to play to leg. But it may benefit her here. I think that's Shabe's hand. She showed that she likes to drive. The footwork was very good there. Good cut. It's gone behind point. There'll be a single. Bit of a misfield. They thought of a second, but very swiftly picked up behind point to make sure it was only a single to the negative. That was awkward. I'll try better next time. 2 for 50. No, scoreboard's behind. As the call of pressure comes up from the field. A lovely shot from Barr over mid-wicket for 6. But there wasn't a lot of damage apart from that to the over as Stumer finishes, Staines finishes rather, apologies. A little expensive, 1 for 33. She did get the wicket of Berry, which was vengeance of sorts after Berry took to her in her first over. So she has bowled better than that, Tara Staines, but Overall, it's been a good week for her so far. It may not be over for the Magic. Baker to continue from the railway end. That's an edge. That's out. She got the ball to dart away. Was able to convince Shabe to hang the bat out at it. It was low, but Stumer did well to take the grab. And Shabe, after doing some good early work, has to depart. It's 3 down. As the clock edges towards 1 o'clock. I think Shabe will see that as an opportunity missed. The Pirates get one more. They play the Dingoes at 2 o'clock, not on the live stream. And over to the left of your screen, the Wellington Point State High School has its alarms set by clock, which means even during the school holidays, which is what we're in now, you will still hear the alarms, and presumably that one is either go to lunch or come back from lunch. Michaela Montgomery, taken over as the main wicketkeeper this week. She will face Baker, who's broken through. Barr has shown some aggressive intent. Montgomery left-handed. Played well yesterday, currently second grade for Wynnum Manly Redlands, but may not stay there. Baker around the wicket. And that tailed in nicely. There's a lot of shoulder in Baker's run up, possibly puts a little bit of strain on the back, but the accuracy is there. Tucked up. Good work from Chelsea Baker. And I must apologise, I had my number 2s of different sides mixed up. Chelsea Baker's always been the number 2 for the Moreton Magic. Dahlia Glennie's a Bayside Pirate. What I will say is I've had fun learning more about these players over the week. Dabbled. Baker is bowling some tempting lines. On this occasion, Montgomery was unable to resist. Then tailed in. She is attacking those stumps from around the wicket, Baker. That was an impressive over. Yielded the wicket of Shabe. And I apologise, I've jumped the gun. I am sitting in the midday sun. That's my only excuse here at the moment. But no, the errors are not good enough. You want to see these women play? I'll pick the game up. That tailed in as well. Her outswing is quite lovely to watch. Now it's the over. No change to the score. And Chelsea Baker is producing quite a lovely spell of outswing bowling, or in-swing to the left-hander. So it ticks past 1 o'clock, 3 for 52 after 8 overs, so it's 1 for 17 in the last 3 since the power play finished. Barr is still at the crease. She's on 16. Montgomery yet to score. As the enforced change at the clubhouse end. See, I believe this is Ava Spence. No, sorry. This is Sophie Martin. Sophie Martin currently plays second grade for Western Suburbs. Another right armour. Not every side has the luxury of left armours. The Wave Riders have 2. You'll see those in action after 2 o'clock. A lot of cricket before then, though. Just dragged it. It's edged through third. It's a bit of a chase for Haverhill. She may not have got there. 4 runs. As Barr moves to 20. Only about 1% as convincing as her 6 over mid-wicket. But she found a gap. So for Martin, long off, long on, deep mid-wicket, and a third. That's called wide. And then inside the circle, there's a point. Actually, it looks like a short gully, a short cover, a traditional cover, a mid-wicket, a short fine leg. Lovely outswing. So Martin finds her rhythm. Is able to genuinely beat the edge. Took the edge with the first ball of the over, but conceded 4. Bit wide, it's lofted. Fielded on the bounce, there'll be a single. But the fielding at point was sharp and the shot was unsure. But Baker did well. Martin will stay over the wicket to the left-hander. The mid-on has moved up. In fact, most fielders have moved up. Now only... the deep fine leg is still there. The deep mid-wicket's gone out. There's a deep cover. I think third is back as well, but there's still 5 inside the circle. Baker trots across to the offside. Didn't bowl in the previous game, Baker, but she's been key here. Martin. It's a lovely ball. Somehow Montgomery's managed to draw that. Oh, in fact, she missed it. It's byes. She jammed down on it, but I think it went between her legs and her bat, possibly unsighted Stumer. And 4 byes to the total. 3 for 62. And that's probably one of the less fortunate boundaries that's been conceded. The full toss isn't timed, it goes to point, knocked around a little bit. 1 run. 63. Halfway is 80, 7 balls away. You would suggest the Magic are just in front at the moment, particularly with Wheeler out. It's a lofted shot by Barr. That's brilliant. That is brilliant on the boundary. Sienna Ginger took the catch. The boundary line was right behind her. She had to make sure she stayed in, but grabbed the ball over the shoulder. Holly Barr has gone to a magnificent piece of fielding from Sienna Ginger. And in terms of a single moment, that's the best play of the match so far. Absolutely superb fielding. Barr is unlucky. I guess any time you hit the ball in the air, you take a risk, but she knows she can clear that boundary. And she all but did that on that occasion. But Sienna Ginger's catch, I'm regretful that it's outside the range of the camera and that you're relying on my descriptions. But she caught it above her shoulder, maybe not quite above her head, but certainly above her shoulder, was propelled backwards, caught it, looked down to where the boundary marker was, kept her toe inside it. She must have only been, 5-10 centimetres inside the boundary marker, held it, steadied herself, then realised she was facing the crowd and held the ball up for all to see. Truly marvellous moment from Sienna Ginger. Maybe in future years when we could have multi-camera coverage, maybe a few camera operators around, those kinds of efforts can be shown. But if Sienna Ginger tells you that she took a magnificent catch just outside of the camera shot. I can assure you that she did. Amarine Carlin, number 6, the new batter for the Pirates, and on strike because the batter's crossed. And of course, in the excitement, it's Sophie Martin who's credited with that wicket, so she's done very well for herself. Has opened her account for this match. Carlin punches that to cover, no run. No, undoubtedly the best. This is the, let me think, the 8th match we've shown on the live stream. And so I can assure you that that is the best catch we've seen at a live stream match. And for your sake, I hope we get one equally brilliant, in line with the camera. Carlin finds the gap, beats the infield, but it will be fielded quite comfortably, a deep cover. Just the one. So for Baker, we'll probably resume around the wicket to Montgomery. Still just the 4 fielders out, so Bradley not pushing everyone back merely because she can. Ginger moving into short cover. The deep third is there, that's Martin, the wicket taker. That's called wide. It did swing in, but not until after it had passed the crease. So there is a deep mid-wicket, and then a deep third, but apart from that, everyone's on the edge of the circle apart from Ginger into the short cover. I've heard she can catch. The appeal comes from third. Now, this will be an interesting call. I think it should be dead ball. But there's no signal, so you can call a run. Total to 66. The right-handed Carlin on strike. No, it has finally been called dead ball. The signal was late. Apologies. But yes, no shot offered, not trying to evade the ball. That's definitely a dead ball, no run. Yeah. 1:10, Queensland time. Montgomery pushing that. There's a mix-up. Throw at the bowler's end. Misses, but I think Carlin was home at any rate. There's Montgomery jamming down on a couple. Not really any power. Which is fine, not everything's about power. He's still fairly new at the crease. There's an appeal for caught behind. There did seem to be a fair bit of daylight between bat and ball. Thank you to Christy Turner for saying there was a brilliant over a few overs ago. Apologies. Unfortunately, the phone batteries need to be preserved at this time. I've currently got the external battery on recharge, so I won't be constantly monitoring the live chat in this innings. So apologies for that, but if you're on your lunch break at the moment, of course if you're in New Zealand, your lunch break was a little while ago, then I'm very pleased that you're spending it watching the Mazda Brisbane Premier League. I hope you're enjoying it. In a match which was a strange innings. It's the halfway point of this innings now, 4 for 65. The last 6 overs have yielded 2 for 30. The Magic innings just seemed to amble along. There were a lot of 1s and 2s. There was a bit of just a lack of excitement around the ground, which is fine. Cricket's not all about excitement. I think it's marketed poorly at times. They just seemed to amble along, and yet they got to 8 and over. Bit of a late flurry. 50s to both Taylor Stumer and Sienna Ginger. And Ginger can add a great catch to her tally as well. Paige Hatherell, right arm medium from the clubhouse end. Martin takes a wicket, then gets dragged. Starts with a wide, and again the shoulder just dropped. One thing you've got to watch, if you have a front-on action, the tendency for the body not to follow through together. The arm goes one way, the shoulder goes the other. Pretty much everything has to go forward. I've oversimplified that, but that's the general principle. No footwork whatsoever. Well wide of off stump, but just slashed at by Amarine Carlin. Sounds you can hear behind me, the Western Power warming up for their next game. That's beaten the infield over the top, and then plugged in the ground. Carlin's got one, and they quite rightly decide against a second. Montgomery on strike, so Haswell's first chance to attack the left-hander. It's the Western Power taking on the Gold Coast Wave Riders in the match after this. Should be a cracker. Montgomery just bunts it down the pitch. The Power became the first side to beat the Coastal Marlins yesterday afternoon when they dismissed them for 76. And the Wave Riders coming off, I believe, 3 wins in a row. 3 out of 4. So Yorker just very leisurely played to square leg. Montgomery deciding, well, I'll just put the bat there, and if the ball wants to hit it, that's its problem. But Haswell keeping it tight, finding a nice full length. Another dot as I think Montgomery thought a different ball had been bowled. It's 4 for 67. Magic were 1 for 71 at the halfway mark. Down the leg side, Haswell going for a bit of extra pace. And to be fair, she has been quicker in this innings. But with the wickets lost, you would suggest that the Pirates are just falling behind the chase at the moment. Wagton's found the gap between mid-wicket and mid-on. Fielded near the boundary, fumbled near the boundary, but it won't result in the third. Just 2 runs conceded, which is probably what the shot was worth, really. So Kira Smith did the fielding just to my left. At the end of the over, 4 for 70. So they're an over behind and 3 wickets down in comparison with the Magic at a similar stage of the innings. Chelsea Baker to resume from the railway end. Three overs, 1 for 5 so far for Baker. Outstanding bowling. Carlin and Montgomery have just been struggling to turn the strike over. Carlin 2, Montgomery 3. Good outswing from Baker. Good intent from Carlin. It was a strong shot. The placement wasn't quite there. It was cleaned up by Eliza Barnett. Missed a couple of games through injury in this series, Barnett, but good to see her back on the field now. Didn't bounce, but I'd suggest that was more the seam position, maybe landed on its side rather than anything to do with the pitch. There have not appeared to be any gremlins in this pitch whatsoever today. The outswing saved the run there from Baker. Carlin was set up for one shot. Played it anyway, but mistimed it to mid-off. Still 4 for 70. Magic tying it up in the middle overs. Maybe just trying a little bit too hard for pace there, Chelsea Baker. The standard pace is quick enough. Just sped up through this innings. There's a little loss of control there. But halfway through the over, maybe go for the effort ball, see if it works. Brilliant. Went for the slower ball. It came out perfectly. It still looked like there was a bit of outswing there. And Carlin was well and truly deceived. Chile's for 2. It's 5 for 71. And the Magic well and truly on top. They pulled out an astonishing performance to beat the Marlins earlier today. And now they're well on top against the Pirates. The new batter looks to be Jessica Bryant. I'll confirm that for you. In fact, I'm completely wrong. It's Gabby McRae. So McRae with work to do. Baker has been absolutely superb today. Probably the pick of the bowlers. It's always a pleasure to watch a spell of good sustained fast bowling with movement. On that occasion, some variation. You can attempt a slow ball, but be able to land it swinging with a Yorker. It's quite special. And that was caught on camera. You're only taking my word for it that Sienna Ginger took a great catch, but you can see for yourself that Chelsea Baker produced a magnificent slower ball. So McRae, the newest hope for the Pirates. Got in behind it, made sure she saw out her first one. The swing is beautiful. Genuinely beat McRae, who to her credit kept the bat inside it. It's getting a bit tricky now for the Pirates. 8 overs remaining and 89 runs still to get. Only 6 runs in the last 2 overs. As Haswell and Baker have well and truly put the brakes on. And if the match keeps going with this trajectory, it's been a relatively methodical win for the Magic. Bonnie Berry attacked them, and Staines had to keep her wits about it to take that wicket. Holly Barr attacked them, and Martin held her nerve, and Sienna Ginger did the rest. Hatherell from the clubhouse end. But hung out to dry by Montgomery. She's certainly not going to wear herself out, Michaela Montgomery. Very economical with her movements as a batter. Possibly needs to show a bit more aggression, but there is something to be said for staying relaxed at the crease. Swings through the line. It'll be at least 1. It's probably gone too quickly to O'Kane to get 2. O'Kane does well. So the single of Montgomery, she moves to 4. McRae yet to score, just got here. They do need 11 and over now. Beautiful. Hasrell's best ball so far. Looked like it was moving away in the air anyway, and then it looked to me like it decked off the pitch as well. And from Gabby McRae's perspective, grateful she didn't get an edge. Yeah, found a rhythm, Haverhill. Doesn't need too much variation at this point. Maybe she'll throw one in to test it out. And your opponents need, well, upwards of 12 and over now. There's a little bit of license for experimentation. Oh, loose delivery from Haverhill. It has been called no ball, rightly so. There's no way Haverhill meant that. To be fair, McRae played it very well. Went for the pull shot, didn't quite get all of it, and went to backward square, so there was no run. The umpire just making a note, holding play up. And he may well have given a first warning. And gives the whirligig signal. So Haverhill defending the free hit. Edge, she'll get 4 for that. It was a big swing, got plenty on it. Plenty of pace from Haverhill. Good play from Bradley to have the slip in place. She had Barnett there, but it went wide at first slip. Maybe it would have been snaffled by second slip, but in a T20, it's a bit of an extravagance to have a second slip. I still want to see it, but it's a bit of an extravagance. But McRae with 4. Did well on the free hit. As Barnett comes back in the slip, Stumer with the gloves. That's a bit full as well. It's gone below the waist on that occasion. Haverhill just needs to be a little bit careful, which I think is what the umpire's saying now. So 13 overs gone, 5 for 77, 1 for 12 in the last 3 overs. So, whereas at one point, the Pirates looked like they may well be on track, it has now slowed right down. Elise O'Kane. Well, from the railway end. One of the very youngest players in this Magic side. She's elected to go round the wicket to the left-hander. Nothing wrong with that. Montgomery will face. Excuse me. And Western Power behind me appear to be in good spirits, which is a good sign for them. A happy side is often a winning side, and vice versa. Pull shot just over the head of square leg. A short delivery from O'Kane, but it nearly yielded a result first ball. Instead, fantastic shot from Montgomery. She doubles her score, 5 for 81. She's got a bit of pace, Elise O'Kane. We've seen she's got a strong throwing arm. It was a short delivery, but she can get that pitched up a bit further. She could trouble Montgomery. No slip in place, but Martin is here for an edge at the boundary. That one was wide, just pushed the arm out a little. Wasn't much wrong with her first delivery. I hope she wasn't thinking that she'd bowled it down leg and needed to come back out to the off. First delivery was fine. That one's down leg side. It's running through. Martin's got a bit of a chase. And they will run 2, so this will be 3 to the total. Bradley's done the right thing by bringing O'Kane on. You do have to use your whole squad. No point being in a Brisbane Premier League squad if you're just going to have someone as a specialist fielder, particularly a young player who needs experience. Brought it in. That's a good shot from Montgomery. Was tailing in towards her. In fact, the protection there at deep mid-wicket will keep it just to the 1. Probably not the best running between the wickets, between Montgomery and McRae. Right-hander on strike. Sophie Martin's being used as a third, running from side to side. Baker's out at deep mid-wicket. It's wide, but I do like that it was fuller from O'Kane. And again, there did seem to be some away swing there as well. The wind is a bit inconsistent here, although it does seem to be blowing from the east now, which will be helping O'Kane's outswinger. A little short, but well directed. She's working hard, O'Kane. You can see her thinking. She's very much trying to attack the stumps. If she can get some swing, she'll attack the edge as well. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful delivery. Nice and full. Drew McRae forward and properly beat the outside edge. Same. She's reproduced it. She's in a groove now. And again, variations can wait. If you've got a stock delivery like that, don't need to vary it. A little fuller and wider, but still inside the wide line. Some good signs in that over for Elise O'Kane. Still 5 for 87. The call has gone out to take the power surge. Haven't seen the umpire signal yet. And the power surge has been taken. 14 overs gone. That's probably the best tactical use of it we've seen for a while. A lot of teams just haven't really thought about it, how to best use it. Hasrell will bowl in the first hour of the first over of the 2-over power surge, apologies. Sienna Ginger's gone to deep mid-wicket for the left-hander. And Baker will go to deep fine leg. Apart from that, a backward square leg. Bradley herself at mid-wicket. Mid-off, or a mid-on and mid-off. A short third. And in fact, the fine leg's gone across to being a deep third. Montgomery went for power. Didn't quite get it, but got it into the gap regardless. Total at 88. So 72 required. 72 off 35. Looks steep. Good bowling from Hasrell. Just back of a length. McRae really couldn't attack that one. Hasrell's been generally impressive during this week, or during today anyway. Again, genuinely beats the outside edge. Good alert captaincy from Bradley. Got the impression that McRae wasn't going to smash it through the offside, so brought the field in. There's still a deep third for the edge, and a deep square leg for the hoik. Apart from that, on the ring, apart from Bradley herself at short cover. Good Yorker. Well dug out by McRae as well. And Hasrell's been fairly reliable with that Yorker. When she gets it wrong, it goes wide, but her length is generally very good. Which is probably the more important component. Slashed just to the left. Darn, it wasn't far away. They get one. McRae's charging back for the second. That's good running. Took on the throw and won. A lot more of that required from the Pirates. They possibly don't have the strength at the crease at the moment to be able to batter this bowling attack around, but if they can get it past the inner ring and then run like hares, they may just be able to knock this down. Hit through cover, but well fielded by Kira Smith. So still 70 required with only 5 overs to go. It's hard to see the Pirates getting 14 and over, as it's 1:33 and the Wellington Point State High School students who aren't there get to come back from lunch. I say get to, have to come back from lunch. Depends how much you like your classroom, really. Sienna Ginger. Haven't seen too much of it today. Falls with a bit of pace, right armour. Probably don't have the variation that they like. The medium paces tend to be fairly similar in this side. They have an off spinner, but they haven't used Laura Shiver in this innings. Montgomery with the right idea, but possibly not the right technique. A little bit behind the over rate. It's taken them a bit over an hour to get 15 overs bowled. So a little slow, the Magic. That's well whacked. It's a big chase out on the boundary for Shiver, and it has gone. It's a good shot from Montgomery. She moves to 14. She's battled hard. They'll need a lot more of those with 14 runs and over required. So Ginger just dropping a little short. If you're going to drop it at that length, it needs to be up around bail height, not knee height. Very open stance, Montgomery. But Chandapal. She pulled that from outside off stump. It was full from Ginger. So she has the front leg pre-cleared, Montgomery. Why wait for the ball to be bowled to clear it? Get there ahead of time. Edged. It'll just come down for the single, as Martin fields fairly securely at deep third. So right-hander on strike, McRae. She's on 6. He's starting to look for more aggressive shots. The third is brought in. The field is deep mid-wicket, in case McRae gets onto one. A deep cover. She decides to, well, slice at one, I suppose, cut at one. Spooned. It'll fall well short of the fielder. Didn't quite get over that one, McRae, as her opposite number, Ginger, put one on a good length. So probably the right decision for the Pirates to have a crack at the power play. Hasn't quite yielded the result they want. That's an excellent shot outside off. It completely justifies Bradley's decision to put a boundary rider out there, but that was quite lovely from Gabby McRae. Good over from Ginger. 64 runs required off 24 balls. So gone from 14 to 16 and over required. Now it would appear, word from the organisers, that the bonus point is not achieved unless you bowl the opposition out, which is a bit different from the Big Bash and Cricket Australia situation. So even though the Magic's on track to get 1.25 their opponent's run rate, it would appear that unless they take 5 wickets in these 4 overs, they don't get the bonus point. which apart from anything else means that the points table I created overnight is completely wrong. Umpire gives the signal that the power surge is over. And Paige Haverhill will bowl out from the near end. None for 14 off her 3. Hasn't been able to break through. She's created opportunities and kept it very tight, particularly when she gets that Yorker working. Over the head of the bowler, but Smith did well to prevent any run. So it's almost batting practice time now for McRae and Montgomery, but it has to be practicing attacking batting. Beats the outside edge, not a lot of footwork there from McRae. This will be a 4th consecutive loss for the Pirates and will basically ensure they won't make the finals. But they have had some good patches, the Pirates, and their initial win against the Kings was spectacular. Lofted to point. Oh, spectacular effort at point. Through the body backwards. McRae gets a single. And Eliza Barnett gets some well-earned stains on her outfit. It's always nice to go home and, you know, one of your parents says, "What's that stain?" You go, "Oh, that's from where I went for a diving catch." Did you get it? Almost. Were you 10 metres away from it? No, I almost got it. It's skied from Montgomery. Haverhill called everyone away and then put it down. She's unlucky not to have a wicket today. She's bowled well enough. Maybe should have left that one for Bradley. Although possibly knew that Bradley, with her injuries, wasn't going to get there either. But searching for that wicket is Haverhill. 2 balls remaining for her today. Again beats the edge. On a different day, she could have had a 5-wicket haul. On this day, she'll end up with, well, at this rate, none for 16. It's well down the leg side. Umpire not interested. The leg bye should probably stand. I think McRae played a genuine shot. She did. Leg bye. Haswell finishes with none for 16 off her 4 overs. It was much better than that looks. 5 for 99 off 17 overs. 61 runs required off 18 deliveries. For what it's worth, if the bonus point is merely 1.25 the opponent's run rate, and 80% I believe is 128. So yeah, 128 would be the target for the Pirates to avoid conceding a bonus point. Power surge over. Ginger to continue. There's a deep 3rd in place. A deep mid-wicket. A deep cover. Mid-off and mid-on look regulation. Good shot from McRae. Through the hands at it, and it's out to Shiver. A deep cover. So the Magic have done well today to give themselves a chance of making the finals. They really had to win both matches. This match they probably would have favoured themselves. But the one against the Marlins, probably an upset in the context of the competition. Both sides were confident going in. Excellent swinging Yorker from Ginger. And she can't quite believe how Montgomery's got some bat onto that and not giving her a wicket in this spell. The 100 came up with the previous single. So a good milestone for the Pirates. They've battled hard. And in normal circumstances, 5 for 100 is nothing to be sneezed at.
Here we go.
Good pull shot from Montgomery. There's no one there. 4 runs. And she moves to 20. It's been a battling innings from Michaela Montgomery. But she can take a lot of pride in what she's been able to do. There have been times where she hasn't kept her head over the ball. She's had little bits of luck here and there. But honestly, what batter doesn't? Ginger again. Little shot, hit her on the hip, but it's probably worth a shot, although it's noticeable that, or notable rather, that Ginger's appeal was completed before she turned around. But yeah, it didn't bounce quite as much as either Montgomery or Ginger expected. She's getting that ball right, Ginger. That wasn't far away, but Montgomery's done well to hit it to the deep. They thought about it a second, but Shiver snuffs out any thought of that. .505 as the field changes over for the right-hander. Again, only 4 in the deep. Bradley only pushing as many back as she wants to. Tucks up McRae, but with the field on that side back, Bradley choosing to go into short mid-wicket, which is fine. The single was easily taken. So 5 for 106. For what it's worth, 54 runs are required off 2 overs. And it will be a second win today to the Moreton Magic. This one far more convincing than the first. So Kira Smith to finish from the clubhouse end. She's had a good day with the ball. A little tied down with the bat in the previous game against the Marlins, but again did a job and set a good platform for Bradley to do the rest. She's bowling to McRae. Bit of a moon ball. As the umpire signals the distance of the universe. As far as the east is from the west. So while it's not crucial to the result of this game, good sides finish games off like this strongly. So the good old French drive heads down towards the fine leg boundary. It's well fielded and will only concede a single. But nice and full from Smith. And from McRae's part, it's hard to score runs if you don't have at least have a swing. With 2 overs to go, or 11 balls now. Bit of aggressive intent. It's good to see. Slow ball to lofted, but it won't make it as far. Good shot at the stumps. Absolutely the right thing to do. Concedes the overthrow. And the second throw from Barnett doesn't concede, which is good.
Get under it, good. Looking good.
Barnett, another winner Manly Redlands player.
Good, back to the middle.
As is Smith, bowling now to Montgomery. It's beautifully played. It will only be a single. It just rolls out to Sienna and she very calmly throws it in. Gabby McRae's battled hard. She's into double figures. Hasn't thrown a wicket away. Pushes it to gully. They've gone for the single. Right thing to do. Very nearly there. Smith tried to flick it onto the stumps. This is good hard cricket in the second last over. Smith bowling to take wickets, the batters are looking to score, and the fielders are charging in and looking for run-outs. The result may have been decided, but everyone's attacking. There's a lot to be admired about that. Not in line. And Smith almost apologises for the appeal. I don't think she needs to. It hit full. And I've seen many balls that were less LBW than that receive orchestrated support from the field. So Smith can feel hard done by. Good shot from Montgomery. Again, it'll just be the one out to Ginger sweeping on the mid-wicket boundary. She's clearly an athlete, Sienna Ginger. Just able to easily move round to the ball, throw it in without much concern. For a 16-year-old, very assured. I look forward to seeing what she can accomplish, first of all, in the Catherine Raymond Shield. 1 over to go. 5 for 113. 7 runs off that over. They did well, the Pirates. 47 runs required off the last 6 balls. And don't say mathematically it's impossible, with no balls and free hits and all the rest. Theoretically, it's unlimited as to how many runs can be scored off an over. So none of this 36 is the maximum stuff. It's like when 2020 commentators call a 6 a maximum. It's not a maximum. You can run 7. I think the Guinness Book of Records has the world record for runs off one ball at 11. If you're watching the live stream and have a Guinness Book of Records, you're welcome to check that out. I'll put it this way, if the Pirates can win from here, we'll be talking about it for a while. Ginger. Miss hit by Montgomery. Ginger at the stumps, got it. So McRae has to go. But exactly the right thing to do. Good fielding again from Ginger. She's shown her abilities in this match. And Gabby McRae should receive a very warm response from her teammates and supporters, because she has battled very hard. She's shown a lot of pride in that Pirates outfit today. And really, that's all you can ask from any member of a team. So they give their all, battle hard, and show that they respect everyone who's put effort into the team. And Gabby McRae has done all of those things and more today. She can be very proud of her innings. So the new batter is Abby Kernis, number 9. Plays with Souths in the Dirty Field Shield. It's the second grade competition here. Souths don't have a side in the Catherine Raymond Shield. They used to for a little while. It's now they participate only in the second grade comp. Good ball from Ginger, but Kernesh still tried to attack it and did it with a rather good technique. Now this innings has run overtime. Actually only just. The 80 minutes expired a minute ago and the last over had started, so I was a bit unfair to the Magic there, sorry. Good Yorker, going for a single. And Montgomery's innings ended in bizarre circumstances, but again, in the final over, I think you just have to charge in that situation. So Kernis remains on 0. And the major plus for this from Montgomery is that she will arrive at the sheds and get her applause individually before the end of the innings. Good tight bowling from Ginger. But everything I said about Gabby McRae, ditto for Michaela Montgomery. Batted with a lot of pride. Got the best out of herself. And I'm certain, right here it comes from the Pirates. She's done well, Montgomery, playing second grade at the moment. But that innings suggests to me that she's got the temperament to play first grade if and when that opportunity arises. But again, the call for no silly run-outs comes up. In the 12th over, fair enough. In the 20th over, go for your life. Lara Hamilton. Gets the edge, and they take a good single this time. And one's all that's needed, as it's fielded well by Hatherell. So 7 for 114. Hit outside leg. Kernis thought about a run, not forthcoming. So the Moreton Magic will win this match by somewhere in the region of 35 runs. That's the margin right now. No more than 20, no less than 29, let's say. And the next match, Gold Coast Wave Riders versus Western Power. Don't miss it. And Kernis will get off the mark, which is a fitting end. Came out in the last over, hits a single. So it's a 34-run victory to the Moreton Magic. It's been a methodical victory. Their batting performance was clinical, and their bowling performance, they were asked questions a couple of times by attacking batting at the top of the order, but they answered those questions well. And so the Moreton Magic have given themselves every chance of making it to the finals. For the Bayside Pirates, it looks likely that their tournament will end this afternoon once they finish their match with the Dingoes. But they've played with a lot of pride this week, and they started the tournament on fire. And so there should be a new video up shortly. The scorecards for this innings are either on your screen already or will be coming up shortly. But the next match, definitely for a final spot. The Western Power versus the Gold Coast Wave Riders. And regardless of the position on the table, both teams have shown that they play good, hard cricket. And it should just be a good quality contest regardless. This video should end shortly, and then a new video will be created on YouTube for the Wave Riders versus Power match. Might be an idea if you're planning on watching that match, just stay on this channel for a while, because we did have a couple of problems yesterday. And then if we need to change over during the innings, that'll be regrettable, but at least you'll get to see all the cricket. So the Moreton Magic win by 34 runs. Player of the match likely to be Taylor Stumer, with Sienna Ginger close behind. And so the round robin stage of the tournament is completed for the Moreton Magic, and they await to see their finals fate. We'll take a break for about 10 minutes or so, maybe slightly less. I'll see you back here on Peter Burge Oval at Wellington Point for the Gold Coast Wave Riders against the Western Power.